Welcome to the final topic of Module 7, Tiretread Examinations. We will begin by discussing and defining Tiretread examinations. We will then list and discuss the three types of tread patterns. We will also discuss the class and individual characteristics for Tiretread examinations, and finally discuss the collection and packaging of Tiretread samples. A vehicle is commonly used in the commission of a crime or in transporting the criminal to and from a crime scene. Because of this fact, Tiretread evidence can be very important to an investigation. Once Tiretread patterns have been found at a crime scene, measurements should be taken of the tread pattern itself. Then it should be completely photographed because this gives you a good visual documentation of the Tiretread pattern. Depending on if it's a two-dimensional pattern or a three-dimensional pattern, just like with shoe prints, Tiretreads should be documented differently. If it's a two-dimensional pattern where a vehicle may have just rolled through some oil and then actually leaves a pattern on pavement or on something that's paper, the camera should be located directly above the pattern and the light can come from the side. However, if it's a three-dimensional pattern, a pattern that has been created a little bit deeper into a substance like a tire driving through an area of dirt, the camera once again should be placed above the impression itself, but then lighting should be taken at different angles so that it can create a contrast by shadowing the low areas and illuminating the high areas of the imprint. It's also good to have your lighting at three different locations to allow the pattern to be photographed showing all of the details of the pattern without any shadowing present. So once the photography has occurred, at this point, if it's a two-dimensional pattern, effort should be made to collect the pattern. So if it's on something easily removed, this could be collected. However, in a lot of instances, the pattern is going to be a three-dimensional pattern. So once again, we're going to preserve this through casting. The cast is going to provide an accurate representation of that tire impression and allow for the recovery of more detail that can be seen to accurately display that evidence. A similar material to what is used for shoe print casting is also used for Tiretread casting in the fact that it's going to be dental stone, which is a form of calcium sulfate. There are several different brands of dental stone that can be used. And the cast can either be in a formed area or once again they can be done in an open area. Just like with our shoe print cast, the powdered mixture is going to be created by adding water to the powder. And then as it's being poured into the impression area, you want to deflect the actual mixture. This will prevent any damage occurring to the impression area through the pouring process. Once the cast is set, which usually takes about 30 minutes, it can then be recovered. You can go ahead and lift the cast, and if there's a lot of excess soil, it can be removed. However, keep in mind it is going to take about 48 hours for that cast to completely set. So it needs to sit at least the 2 days before all of the soil can be removed so that the pattern can easily be seen. Dry casting or snow wax can also be used in tire treads that are made in snow. And once again, to dry cast, you're going to be putting very faint layers of the actual dental stone powder directly onto the snow, and the moisture from the snow will mix with the powder to create the solution. This will be done in several different layers to actually obtain a cast from that impression. Or in some instances, snow wax can also be used. And this is more or less a colored spray paint that can be used to enhance that tread pattern just specifically for photography reasons. If we think about the various tread patterns that can be seen at a crime scene, tires can be divided into 3 main tread design patterns. If it's a non-directional symmetrical tread design, a directional tread design, or an asymmetrical tread design. The non-directional symmetrical tread designs are going to appear the same pattern no matter which direction you actually view that tire from. Your directional tread designs need to be mounted on the vehicles in a specific direction, and arrows will indicate this on the tires themselves. The asymmetrical tread design is a tread design that is one whose opposite sides of its tread patterns are not identical. So once the tire treads have been recovered from a crime scene, you're going to look at the overall tread design to see if it is similar to a possible suspect vehicle, and then comparisons will be made. So for comparisons to be made from the tires from that suspect vehicle, there either needs to be inked or dusted impressions or cast impressions made from those suspect tires. When possible, the exemplars should be made while the tires are still on the vehicle, because this is going to provide an accurate pressure of the vehicle under load as that impression is actually being made. However, in most instances, the analyst will end up rolling the tires by hand to make the test impressions. When making test impressions, it should always include the entire circumference of the tire itself. And it is also recommended that at least 2 impressions or 2 test impressions are made from each tire, starting in different directions. Since generally you don't know exactly where on the tire tread impression at the crime scene may have come from, you want to eliminate the possibility of that impression or test impression if a portion of it is only at the start of your test impression and then you have to compare to the end. So taking 2 test impressions starting at different areas should give you the entire area that might be of comparison purposes to the sample from the crime scene. Once the exemplars have been taken, then comparisons can be performed back to the cast or to the photographs that were collected from the crime scene itself. And in this situation, the analyst is going to initially be interested in the class characteristics that are going to be involved in that overall tire design, but then also specifically wear and individual characteristics that that tire may have developed. Changes are going to occur over time, and this is going to cause the individual characteristics to that tire itself. Things such as wear, depending on if that tire was correctly inflated or not, if it was overinflated or underinflated, it's going to provide very unique individual wear to the tire itself. Also, if the tire is out of alignment or the wheels aren't balanced, this is going to cause unusual or individual wear patterns to the tire. Also, different parts of the car that might have worn parts, suspensions, or shock absorbers will cause different wear to the tire, in addition to a lot of the road surface that that tire has actually covered. Whether or not there's been a lot of quick starts or stops will make changes in the wear of that tire itself. You can see from this slide how the wear has actually caused changes in the class characteristics of the tread design itself. So changes in the overall dimensions of the shape and the size of the ribs and the grooves and the shapes of the tire can actually be seen. So it's very easy to see the changes in wear that are going to occur naturally from a new tire to a worn tire. And wear may also cause individualized characteristics. The tires can pick up a lot of cuts and scrapes or stone holds. Things of this are going to be more your individual characteristics when we talk about tire tread examinations. So the combined size and shape of a cut is going to be considered a random occurrence. So this is going to be an individual characteristic for tire tread comparisons. Likewise, different tears or rips that may occur in that tire tread are going to be very individualized. Tires will typically pick up stones, so the location of these stones and how they change the rubber that's actually surrounding the stones is going to create an individualized characteristic. And any nails or screws that might embed themselves in the tire tread are also going to create an individualized characteristic. Likewise, if there's been the nails or screws that have caused the tire to have work done on it, any plugs or patches that may be visible may also create individual characteristics. And in some instances, there might be excessive erosion to the tread itself that might create the individual characteristics. All of the class characteristics and the individual characteristics are going to be taken into consideration during that comparison of the test exemplars back to the samples from the crime scene. So in a lot of instances, there may be able to be made comparisons between these class and individual characteristics. However, just like with our shoe prints, you have to keep in mind that the absence of specific wear or individual characteristics could be the result of how that impression was actually made. It could be too shallow to show some of the impressions. So once again, at times that analyst has to be very careful in how they word their reports. If they need to state whether or not conclusions can actually be reached or not. But in a lot of situations, they will be able to reach the conclusions that a tire did indeed make an impression left at a crime scene or did not make the impression at the crime scene.